for making my wife confess to all her friends and family that she cheated on me if she did not want a divorce. I, 34M, have been married to my wife, 32F, for 5 years, and we have 3 children. A few months ago, I found out from my wife's texts that she had been cheating on me, and I confronted her about it. She confessed to it, and gave me an entire breakdown of her affair, which had lasted for a month. I was devastated and asked her why. She gave no excuses for it, and said she had caught feelings for her affair partner which were wrong and she had acted on them. He was her co-worker. I asked her if I lacked in anything, and she said no, and she was in tears. I needed a few days to process this. My wife gave me space, but she asked me many times to reconsider divorce because it would uproot the lives of our children. She said she would do anything I wanted for the rest of my life. After a week, I decided that I needed only one thing from my wife to completely forgive her, and that was to call each and every one of her friends and family and confess to her affair. I told her that was my only condition. She was really hesitant and asked me if I could reconsider the condition because this would ruin a lot of her friendships and family relationships, but I told her this was what I needed as a part of my forgiveness process, and that if she didn't do this, I was going to start looking for a divorce lawyer. Over the next week, my wife made a phone call to all of her friends, parents, grandparents, siblings, uncles, aunts, pretty much anyone she knew and confessed to her affair. It was hurtful, and there was a lot of crying. My wife was hurled with a lot of shouting. By the week's end, my wife had called everyone I had wanted her to call. It has been a few months, and my wife and I actually have a really strong relationship now. However, my wife has pretty much become isolated from her friends and a lot of her family. This has hurt her a lot, and she spends a lot of nights crying, but she says this was worth it for our relationship and for our children. Am I the asshole?
Am I the a-hole for telling my GF that my ex-wife was tighter? I am 39. Hate it when people make fun of others. I mean, I know that people can gossip and talk amongst friends about other people, and I am guilty of that too, but I got very upset when my GF, F32, started talking about my ex-wife, F42. I understand that disliking an ex isn't abnormal or anything, but my GF is obsessed with my ex-wife and always try to make bad remarks about her. When it is just to me, I don't care because, again, people gossip and talk shit about others in the privacy of their own homes. But this time, it was at a restaurant with some of her girlfriends and spouses. Somehow the discussion became about my ex-wife's vagina. Yes, don't ask me how, but they were discussing childbirth and body changes, age, etc. My GF was a bit drunk and she was talking loudly. I hated it and asked her to stop talking. When I get upset, she doubles down because she starts thinking, why do you care? Why don't you want me to talk shit about your ex? She has told me this before. Now she was talking about how my ex-wife must have a huge one. We have 2 children together. The girls started laughing and saying, ew. I yelled to stop, but they ignored me. Then my GF told me, why are you so agitated? Did we hit a nerve? I said, actually, no. My ex-wife was the tightest woman I have had. I don't know how she managed it, but she's very tight. They became silent, and my GF started crying. Then the women started yelling at me, and their spouses were between amused and scared. Then one of the spouses said, yeah, I don't think childbirth really affects this. I haven't noticed difference with women I have dated. I felt gratitude, but I was still being yelled at, and my GF has not called or answered me since Saturday. I'm so tired.